Hello, how you doing? All right, this is a new segment on the Cunningham's titled Let's Talk. And we're going to be talking about social issues that are affecting and influencing the African American style of life. Okay, so let's talk. All right, so we're having a conversation about the solutions for our black community. All right, well, what we should do. What do you think? I'm doing it right now.
Okay.
And the conversation was basically, what's the problem, what's the solution? Well, we know what the problem is. I hope we do. So I'm going to start voicing and expressing my thoughts on a regular basis for an audience, people who are thirsty for knowledge, who have a genuine concern about African Americans.
And are ready to evolve.
Hopefully, and they are ready to evolve. But we have to be real, we have to be authentic, and one of the key words, buzzwords we keep uplifting is have to be conscious of our responsibilities. Okay, you have to be conscious of our responsibilities, because when it's all said and done, we are responsible for our own. We're responsible. So my first thought is that I don't think Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X would appreciate where we are right now as it relates to our progress as a nation. Not saying that we haven't made progress, but the progress I'm talking about is with the manifestation and the tangible spirit of love that we do not demonstrate to one another. All right, that's one of the biggest things and the most deepest constructs that I think both of those men, Martin Luther King as well as Malcolm X, was trying to teach us, is about loving your fellow man. Malcolm X took the perspective that we should love African Americans first, and that we need to build our own infrastructure within our community so that we could have ways and means and resources to build our communities from the inside out. Martin Luther King had a global perspective that all of society is responsible to love all of humanity. So both of them was really talking about love. So how do we pull the two together? We take Malcolm X's perspective first, that we really, truly need to walk in love for African Americans. We don't have to agree with everybody, but we do have to show them honor and respect and love. We don't have to agree. I'm pretty sure all African Americans will never all agree on every point. It's impossible to be an individual and agree with everything everybody else is saying. That will make you a people pleaser. But you have to express your truth, express your authenticity, express how your views, your opinions. But you have to realize it's because you have those views and opinions doesn't necessarily mean everybody's going to agree with you. But does that mean that we don't have to show each other respect, honor, and love? Absolutely not. We can disagree and be mature. And I believe, this is my personal hypothesis, I believe we're so sensitive till we can't hear what somebody else is saying. Only way we'll really listen is if they are agreeing 100% with everything that we're saying, then that person got it. That person is, like we say, is woke. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I'm going to disrespect you or dishonor you or devalue you as an individual. So we really, as African Americans, we really got to set that culture and that stage that we should disagree in order for the truth to really surface. We have to disagree, but we also have to establish an atmosphere where that disagreement won't turn into a confrontation. Okay? We have to. And we have to really take responsibility for our own. We have to take responsibility first for ourselves. As a father, I have to make sure that I am on point with myself first. Okay, before I start telling my children what to do, I got to make sure that I have done it or I am willing to do it. I got to prove that I'm an example of industry, of being industrious, being diligent, being faithful, being committed, being devoted. I have to demonstrate principles that I want them to live by. I have to be the embodiment and the personification of that first. And then my communication of it can be digested easier. So I really do think that fathers have to take responsibility, mothers have to take responsibilities, and then it trickles down to the children. And once we take our families and our homes back, then we take our block back, our community back, our neighborhood back. Then after take the neighborhood back, then we can take back our city, our state, and country, and so forth and so on. So I'm going to be coming on here, and the first perspective I want you to understand is that we are responsible. As African Americans, we are responsible for our own communities. Okay, I think blaming others for what you can take care of is a sign of weakness. I think blaming others for what you have the resources and the intellect to take care of is a sign of immaturity. I think when you blame somebody else for something that you got the power and the strength and the wisdom to correct is a sign that you just don't want to face responsibility. So that makes you immature, irresponsible, and sometimes even lazy or stubborn. That's just me. I believe that. Okay? I believe it. And there's a passage in the Bible where Jesus saw a blind man born. He was born blind. He was born. And the disciples said, "Who did sin that this man was born blind?" All right. In other words, who is to blame for this man's condition? Jesus said, nobody is to blame. Nobody is to blame. But this was done that the glory of God may be manifested. So I'm going to put it in our terms for 2019. Jesus was saying, don't blame anybody for his condition. Take responsibility and give him light. That's what he did. He took responsibility. For everything that was blind, he gave it light. He didn't say, because your mama did this, you do this, because your daddy on drugs, daddy in jail, so now you blind. My responsibility is I got light in me, so I'm going to take your blindness away. I'm not going to ask you why you in this condition. I'm just going to change your condition. And that's what I think we need to do. Stop blaming people for the condition. But if you got the power to change it, take the initiative and just change it. So this is my first video concerning what I think African Americans need to do. And the first step is stop blaming. Who did wrong that this man is blind now? Jesus didn't answer that. He said nobody did wrong. This was done so that the works of God may be manifested. And what did Jesus do? He healed the blind man's eyes. And now the man could see. What I got from that passage is, don't blame. If I see a condition that's wrong, don't blame it. Don't blame, try to find out why this happened, or assess blame. Because when you assess blame, listen to me carefully. When you assess blame, you weaken the power to take responsibility. You weaken the power to take responsibility. If you blame others, you just made that situation stronger. Jesus didn't blame people. What did he do? He just took care of the situation. He took responsibility for what came around him. All right? And this is the mentality I have in my classroom when I'm teaching. I don't say, well, your father's just no good and your mother this and your mother. No, that's not my problem. My problem is this. All right, you come to me with this condition, it's my responsibility to just take that condition away. I got the resources, the intellect, the power, the will, the want to, the desire to help you. And I'm not going to go through your history and find out X, Y, and Z. I'm not blaming people. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming that. Come on. I'm not blaming. But I am taking responsibility. First step, take responsibility. Let's not blame anybody for the conditions of our community. Don't blame anybody. Take responsibility for it. If you see somebody doing this and doing that, that's your friend, it's your responsibility to say, man, look, let's not do that, let's do this. It's your responsibility, man, let's not bother that, let's go over here. Your responsibility. Let's tell Mr. Johnson he left his door open. All right, let's tell Mr. Johnson he left his door open. Let's tell Miss Smith she left her keys in her car. All right? That's the first step. Let's take responsibility for each other. All right, peace.